set you over the edge, here's what you do. Listen to me, Spider, okay? This is really important. No one is going to tell you this, okay? I know you're going to think I'm full of ish, but hear me out, okay? So at the U.S. Securities Exchange Commission, there's a special license, a special sort of certification that you can get, right? It's called a Series 7. Study your ass off for that, okay? Get your Series 7 certification. This will allow for you to be what is referred to as an accredited investor, right? Once you become an accredited investor, you can buy stocks that are not available to most people. You can buy that very valuable stock with the major dividends and the major interest and all of that other stuff. That high APY, you know what I mean? Where it's paying you crazy high dividends and it's going up. Stuff that's not readily available. I'm talking about SpaceX stock. I'm talking about like certain type of like processors and like semiconductors and all of this other stuff. That's what you want. Hey DZ, what's up, man? Welcome in. Haven't seen you in a minute. But yeah, it's called a Series 7. Tesla is IPO. Anybody can buy Tesla stock. But the stock that I'm talking about, like for example, let's say you wanted to buy SpaceX stock. Well, you couldn't buy SpaceX stock right now because SpaceX isn't a publicly traded company. It's private. But if you were an accredited investor, you can buy SpaceX stock. But you have to be an accredited investor through the Securities Exchange Commission. I know, ADZ, where you been, bro? Man, I was just asking people. I was like, I wonder whatever happened to ADZ, bro. Man, I'm chilling, bro. Just, man, drinking some apple juice, man. Some cold-ass apple juice, bro. Had a long day at work. I worked for over 12 hours today, bro. Tired, man. I left from home at 4 a.m., bro. Left home 4 a.m. I got back at 8 p.m. So I'm pretty tired. I probably shouldn't even be on here, but whatever. I missed you guys way too much. I was just like, I'm gonna just pop online and hang out with the homies. You know what I'm saying? Damn, that's what's up, ADZ. I went to work, bro. I went to work. Spider, what's up, Sean Eden? Halen, what's up, Halen West? Yeah, I went to work. Yeah, crazy. Hell yeah, you didn't know that I work, bro? Where do I work? I work in the Silicon Valley, bro. I work around a bunch of big tech. So like you be hearing about like all of these like big software companies and stuff like that. Like that's the kind of the stuff that I work around, I guess you want to say. Kind of, sort of. Whew. You said work is fire but crazy? How? What do you mean? Man. Oh my gosh, bro. Dude, I'm like lagging so bad right now. Oh my gosh. Dude, I need a new computer, man. And that's the thing, man. Y'all need to help me get to 500. All I need is 500 followers on Twitcher. Once I get to 500 followers on Twitcher, I'm going to buy me a new system. That's the benchmark that I gave myself, 500 followers. Right now I'm at 60 or so. I do remodeling for Southern Oklahoma Realty. Hey, that's cool. Is that what the real estate place is called? Southern Oklahoma Realty? Is that what it's called? Or are you just saying that you provide that in Southern Oklahoma? Because it sounds like that's the brokerage. That's pretty impressive, ADZ. I wish I was doing that at your age, man. No, Spider, I'm not involved with Homeland Security. Like, in what capacity did you think I was involved with Homeland Security? I don't know if that's a compliment or you trying to call me ICE or what. Oh, it's what it's called. Okay. Have you, ADZ? Have you ever thought about being a real estate agent when you turn 18? That'll be cool. Then you could work with Southern Oklahoma, start listing some stuff. Oh, tech. You thought I was like an analyst or something? No, I work doing other stuff, bro. I work in security and like ADZ. I work in security. I work in the real estate sector, and I do some other things as well. Yeah, you probably got me mixed up. It's okay though. You said you studying it right now. I'm betting. Oh, nice, nice. Good for you. Good for you, ADZ. That's good. It's not an easy license. I mean, Oklahoma's real estate exam is a lot easier than California. California's real estate exam is probably the most difficult, but good for you. And ADZ, I would also recommend that while you're studying, since you're 16, this is going to be super beneficial for you. Please, please, please consider this. Go to like a community college or a junior college and try. Hey, what's up, Game J? What's up? What's your question, bro? What's your question, Gamer J? Welcome in, bro. Bro, I'm not understanding your question. What do you mean, Gamer J? And who is us? Who is us? Who are you referring to? I don't know what you mean, bro. Would I ever? I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Homeland Security do got some cool jobs within their sphere. They have DSS, which is Diplomatic Security Services. Those guys are badass. They're kind of like, oh no, no, they're actually through the State Department. Never mind, not them, but they're badass nevertheless. Meant about capitalism in general. I mean, bro, I don't really know. But you said listen to us. Who is us? Are you like a right wing guy and you're asking why don't the left listen to you? Is that what you're asking? I'm just trying to understand your question. You said serious question. How many times over how many decades does the fringe left need to constantly be the first people on the right side of history on every goddamn issue before the rest of society learns to effing listen to us? And what I'm trying to understand is who's us. Um, but yeah, yeah. So DHS, Department of Homeland Security, they got some good positions there, like some good jobs. Some of them, though, you have to have a military background, or it's highly recommended you come from military. Actually, everything is recommended you come from military. But yeah. Oh, and Gamer J, follow me, bro. Follow me, bro, and we'll have the discussion more. I love these discussions. But yeah, what was I going to say? So for Let's see. Let me catch up a little bit. So, would you ever consider Homeland Security? So they do have like Federal Protective Services, police, and all of that. Very cool. Even the U.S. Secret Service is under DHS, so they're pretty badass. And the U.S. Coast Guard is under the Department of Homeland Security. A lot of people don't know that, but the U.S. Coast Guard, they're the only military branch, unlike all of the other branches like the Navy, the Air Force, the Marine Corps, the Army, all of that, right? All of that is under the Department of Defense. The U.S. Coast Guard is the only military branch that's under the Department of Homeland Security. That's badass. The Coast Guard, they're interesting. They consider themselves military and federal law enforcement. So they're badass. I like Coast Guard. The Coast Guard catch a lot of heat, but in actuality, the Coast Guard, they actually have the second most difficult academy or boot camp for military branches. It's Marine Corps and then the U.S. Coast Guard. Their boot camp is tough. It's like really, really, really tough. I think they have a high dropout rate too. They're pretty picky, pretty selective on their people too. A lot of times, people that want to like go into like Secret Service or like diplomatic security services or something, they typically go with Coast Guard because of the unique training that they provide. It's pretty badass. So ADZ, you said colleges won't accept me since I got arrested, but a college career isn't required for realty job in. No, no, no. So you don't. Yeah, it's not required that you have a college degree. But what I'm saying to you is, well, for one, you should. There should be some sort of pathway for you to take college courses, even with an arrest record, and you should be able to get your arrest record expunged. Or there's another term that I forgot. It's called. It's like another term similar to expunge, absolved, or something like that. But it's another like legalese term that they use. You should be able to get your record because you're still under the age of 18, and I think most states have like a pathway to getting the record removed or sealed or whatever. The only exception to that is if it was like a heinous felony or a series of felonies, then it might be a little more difficult. But if it's just for like something stupid like truancy or something, you should be all right. Let's see. One question before I head out. I love your dreads. They're so healthy. Thank you. I appreciate it. Do you think females have become more of housewives or girlfriends? Definitely more of girlfriends. Absolutely, without a doubt. Definitely more of girlfriends. Yeah, a lot. So here's the thing, right? A lot of women, they don't really understand. A lot of women these days, they haven't been raised to be wives, right? Because men have built and civilized the world that they live in. You know, now they just can do whatever they want, and a lot of women, they weren't raised to be wives. They were raised to be strong, wrong, independent. I don't need no man. I can do all bad by myself. That's how they were raised to be like. Meanwhile, a lot of women, they are heavily in debt. The two largest employers for women are government and retail. Government and retail are the two largest employers of women in the U.S. Women overwhelmingly opt for more cush degrees in humanities, communications, criminal justice, HR, art, psychology, things like that. Stupid shit. Worthless degrees is what they call them. Rhetoric, African American studies, liberal arts, stupid shit like that. So, uh, you don't think a SEAL is harder than a Marine? No. So to be a SEAL, it's significantly more difficult than the Marine Corps boot camp. Significantly more difficult. Like they're not like SEAL intensity is way up here in comparison to Marine Corps boot camp. And for Marine Corps officer training, I would probably, so this is Marine Corps, this is SEAL training. I'll probably bump this up a little bit for Marine Corps officer training. And then for Marine Corps Force Recon, I'll probably bump it up to about like here. And then for Marine Corps MARSOC, I'll probably bump it up to about here. It'll be like right, or yeah, about like right here, maybe, yeah, in terms of intensity. All right, ADZ, for sure, bro. Hell yeah. Depends, because there is more single moms than single dads, though. Well, the thing is, most women have babies by a small subset of men. So most women have babies by like 20% of the population of men. Most women tend to go for the same subset of men that most other women would want. Women are interesting, right? So men, a lot of, below average and average men, an average man, he'll take a below average and average woman as long as she brings him peace and simplicity and some comfort, he's fine and content with her, right? But a woman, they want men that most other women would want. They want the bad boys. They want the men that's going to turn heads. They want the mover and the shakers. They want the 5%, the 3%, the 1%, the 0.0000001% of men that most other women will want. They want the 6 foot plus guy with the 6+ inch long with the 6+ salary, and all of this other stuff. That. So, and on top of all of that, he gotta look good too. All of that, and he gotta look like he's a model, or he's got to be a model, fresh off the runway, or the walkway, or whatever they call it. Let's see what else we got. But a lot of single moms still seeking men instead of focusing on their babies. Well, with that. This is a great conversation. I love that. The thing with that is they just don't want to pay bills. And what they're trying to do is pawn their kids off to another man. But if you tell them, like me, I would never take care of another man's offspring. I'm not incentivized to. That's not a net positive for me. I would never in my life take care of another man's offspring. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Some random dude, hell no. Why would I sink my hard-earned resources into another man's offspring? That makes no freaking sense whatsoever. But what happens is a lot of these women, they're looking for the suckers to finesse, They're looking for the suckers, the simps, that'll be like, oh, I'll be that man. I'll step up. I'll take care of you and your 6 kids by 7 different dudes. Of course, that was deliberate. Calm down. I'll take care of your 6 kids by 7 different dudes and all of this other bullshit. So, me, absolutely not. Me, because I have the luxury of not needing to do that. Other guys, they tend to be more desperate. They're willing to do that. The issue with that is a lot of times the men who may be willing to do that or who are willing to do that, like Big Ed that's working at McDonald's that's assigned to fries for the next 2 weeks. He's on fries, working hard, working full time. All of 5'2", 250 pounds, right? That's Big Ed, right? He on fries for the next 2 weeks at McDonald's. He'll be all the man this woman could ever want. He'll love her. He'll kiss the worship. He'll kiss and worship the ground she walk on. He'll love on her kids. He'll invest in her kids. He'll sink resources in her kids. He'll protect her and her kids. But she don't want that guy. She wants men like me. She wants men like me that's not going to tolerate bitches like her. That's the type of man she wants. She wants men that most other women want. She want a man that most other women wouldn't qualify for. That's just how women are. Women are hypergamous. Women want men that are also better than them at everything. They want a man bigger, stronger, who earns more, all of that, just everything. Brian, what's up? Byron, excuse me, Byron. I just don't get why women continue to pick men that are jobless, tons of babies already, and well, because they are what they attract. They go where what they're attract. That's why that saying exists. You are what you attract. So while they may want, a beautiful guy that earns a lot and all of that, oftentimes reality strikes, or sometimes they're just trying to get that scratch itch, aka they trying to get their back blown out, right? That's all they really want. And Pookie and Ray Ray, they looking pretty fine right about now, so they'll settle with him even though he's a loser and he's worthless, but they'll settle with him because he's a bad boy, because they love that fast lifestyle, you know? But the whole perpetual victim mentality, the women, like a lot of women, they tend to do that, get involved with guys like that. They know that the guys ain't shit. They'll involve themselves with the guys, get pregnant by the guys, and then complain about how terrible the guys are. They knew how terrible the guys were from the get-go. They chose to ignore things. What's up, Kinder Boy? Kinder Boy! They chose to ignore things, right? And now they have no one to blame except themselves. But again, the whole perpetual victim mentality, right? It's this weird, chaotic hyena mindset, right? They want to be a victim, right? They want to be part of the cis code, the victimhood, right? They want to be coddled, and they want to just, and then you could, I swear, you could ask a 30-year-old woman that got pregnant last year, why did you do that? Kid you not, she'll be like, I was young, I didn't know what I was doing. It was like, that was just last year. You were 29. You talking like you were like 16 or something like that. And even at that rate, you should have known better. That just means that you grew up in a chaotic household and your parents failed you, essentially. Because we all know that a lot of women here in American culture specifically, they avoid accountability like the plague. I always say, accountability for women here in American culture is like a vampire in garlic. They avoid it at all costs. And other people say accountability is like kryptonite to a lot of women. Bro, I'm telling the truth too, right? Like, for real, bro. And then beg for custody or see it, bro. I'm telling you, bro. And that's all it is. Let me tell you something. When women get kids, child support turns to all type of weird shit for women, because a lot of women, believe it or not, a lot of women are heavily reliant. I would arguably say most women, they're heavily reliant upon government assistance in some capacity. Men, not so much. But women are, because here's the thing. Here's things we do know, right? Women hold most of the nation's debt, most of the nation's school debt, most of the nation's consumer debt, because they go out, they spend frivolously. All of their credit cards are maxed out. They buy stupid, dumb, materialistic shit. They're more concerned with living in the moment. They're not really overly concerned with thinking long term. Oh my God, let her live her life. Leave her alone. She just a girl. I was like, what are you talking about? She's 28 years old. She's 35. What the fuck? Leave her alone. She's just a girl. She's still trying to find herself. No accountability, Leave her alone. Oh my God, why you bashing women? Leave her alone. You hear that shit all the day. Again, no accountability. But what I just shared there was the echo chamber, right? girl, you'll be okay. You're gonna find a person. Yeah, I'm gonna find my person. And then anytime a woman say I'm gonna find my person or any variation of that, she's essentially a chronically single woman walking. I mean, that's what it ultimately boils down to. A chronically single woman walking. Because no one wants to deal with that shit. But she thinks that there's some guy out there for her that's going to be, he's going to conform to her will. He's going to conform to this idea she created in her head of what she feels right, a man should be about, should be like, because for her, quote unquote, a real man would do blah, 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 blah. She'll give you an itemized list of what she feels a real man would do, right? It's like Build a Bear, Build a Boo workshop, right? Because a real man would judge me for not having 300 bodies. A real man wouldn't judge me for not having 6 kids by 12 different dudes, A real man wouldn't judge me for being on Section 8. A real man wouldn't judge me for being $800,000 in consumer debt. And having a credit score of 40, let's see, but isn't that what a date is, to seek red flags? I mean, there's only but so much, and that's another thing too. You have to watch out for these chameleons out here, right? Because they'll present themselves a certain way, but the goal for them is they're looking for suckers, they're looking for simps, they're looking for the finesse. So you have to be mindful, you have to be careful about that, because make no mistake, there's a lot of chameleons in the midst. You have to be very, very careful. They walk upon us, and they'll pretend like they're for you. They'll pretend they would even go out of the way and go overboard in performing, but make no mistake, they are a chameleon. And if you don't know, chameleons, they shape shift. For those of you that don't know what a goddamn chameleon is, they act as if there's disconnect from their actions. Oh yeah, absolutely. Expect the most, entitled to everything, offended by everything, provided nothing. Absolutely. Yeah. Expect the most, entitled to everything, offended by everything, and ashamed of nothing. Right? Offended by everything, ashamed by nothing. And that's the thing, right? I mean, I spoke about this before, right? Women, they complain, especially women in Western culture, right? A lot of them, they want the superiority and the power of men, but then they want the advantages of a woman, but then they want the accountabilities of a child. They want it all, And remember what I said earlier, life is about choices and trade-offs, right? You can't have it all, right? But a lot of them, they feel like they could have it all. Oh, I look familiar? Thank you. I appreciate it. I look familiar. Thank you. I don't know. Why do I look familiar? Where do you think you know me from? You can always seek out a bad doer. Absolutely. So yeah, I mean, hey, what's up, Cap? How's it going? But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it in a nutshell. I mean, and you're gonna see that, you're gonna encounter that. You just got to be really mindful. Women. There's, like I said, there's a lot of chameleons upon us, man. I mean, and I've encountered them a lot, bro. Like I said, I mean, I'm not the tallest dude in the world, but bro, I'm 6'3", and I do very well for myself, and that tends to attract a lot of women. And a lot of men won't even know what that feels like to have women hit on them. For me, like, it's kind of, sometimes it can be kind of annoying, and some of them are brazen. Like, if I'm with my lady, or if I'm with a lady that I'm dating or whatever, they'll hit on me in front of them. Like, they're just like, he's up for grabs. I don't see no ring. He's up for grabs, you know? Y'all ain't married. He's up for grabs. Like, a lot of them are pretty ruthless out here because the realities are what we don't tell men in society, particularly here in Western culture, because we want women to stay on this pedestal for some weird reason. And by the way, I want y'all to look up something called Hoe Math. Hoe, Hoe math. Look up the user by the name of Hoe Math. He got some really good content. You guys will like it. But just know that in America alone, this is just America. This isn't even including any other countries. Women outnumber men by millions here in America. Just here in America, right? Black women alone, right? So I'm black. Black women alone outnumber black men by over 2 million in this country. They want you to think that they're the prize. The reality is they're a burden. And a lot of them are pretty worthless to you and to society. Many don't even know how to be an asset to the kind of caliber of man a lot of them say they want. Oh, I want a man that earn this, that do this, blah, blah, blah. But they themselves don't know how to be an asset. You be like, well, what do you provide? It's a deer in the headlights. They don't even know what they provide. Well, I provide me. It's me. It's me. So they expect you to take your word for they want you to want you to take them for their word, right? But they just want you to take them just because they exist. Just because they merely exist. You're just supposed to take me because I exist. It's like, well, get in line. If you don't know how to be an asset, the reality is men are assets. Why? Well, for one, there's few of us, right? There's way too few men to go around. A lot of women, arguably most women, they're going to end up dying alone, right? A lot of women like to shame and guilt trip men. Oh, you're an incel, blah, blah, blah. A lot of women are femcels, even per capita, right? Most women, even per capita, right? Even if it was bam, bam, same, even them. Most of them will not have a man. Most of them will die alone. I'm serious. That's just how it is, right? And again, they outnumber men by millions. But remember, men are actually the more valuable ones. Why? Well, because we're bigger, we're stronger, we typically earn more. Remember, women are hypergamous, right? They're looking for men to protect, to provide stability, a foundation, to provide resources. So imagine you have to grow up with virtually nothing. You have to turn yourself into a goddamn diamond in the rough, right? You have to turn yourself into virtually gold to even be seen by halfway a decent woman, right? While taking on the complex world and what society has to throw at you just for being a man. But for them, they just think, oh, just merely existing is fine enough. Like I said, privilege is blind to those who have it. And for women in Western culture, privilege is blind to them because they don't realize that men built and civilized the goddamn world they live in. I mean, make no mistake. Remember, there's few of us, but who maintains this vast and complex infrastructure? It's certainly not teams of women, for it is men who bring clean drinking water, electricity, all of this other stuff, right? Build, skyscrapers and homes and plumbing and electricity and everything, right? But for women, hashtag manifestation madness, right? They think things just happen, just from the ether. It just happens, You could Thanos snap, you could ask a woman, what do you think will happen if Thanos snapped all the men away, right? And if it was just women. They just think things will just continue to just happen just because. They don't realize the complexities behind all of these advancements that men are steadily putting themselves in grave risk and pain. Women complain about, oh, I was in labor for 9 months and oh, I occasionally got little cramps and pains. It's like, bitch, do you realize men go to work in pain, big ass pill bottles every day, going to work popping them like they're Skittles because they're in pain every day, and you're complaining because you spent a little bit of time with a child. Hold on, while you're being coddled, right, and being attended to and like nurtured even more. Oh, baby, you're pregnant, blah blah blah. It's like, give me a effing break. Like, seriously. And then you push the kid out. Meanwhile, men every day, right? Going to work in pain, popping pills, right? Like they're Skittles. Back hurt, legs hurt, feet hurt, dick hurt, everything hurt, right? Head hurt, migraine, neck hurt. Men have to dive into the deep, dark complexities of society, the toxins, diving into sewers, exposing themselves to harmful elements, garbage people, picking up garbage and all of that, steadily climbing on and off rigs, blah, 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 blah. All of this shit, right? Remember, there are no teams of bricklayers, road pavers who are women that are doing these jobs like that. It's men who are doing these jobs. Exactly, bro, exactly. They ain't doing it. Someone got to do it, because without women, we just don't repopulate. Without men, they die, right? Again, men can live, we'll be okay. But if it was just nothing but women, they'll die because they just have no idea. But they'll swear up and down that men are crazy, men are terrible, and all of this other stuff, right? And women, they'll tell you like how creepy and scary men are, right? Let's go into this topic, right? Men are creepy and scary, blah 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 blah. It's always only the men that they don't want who are the creepers, right? But then if you take a handsome guy and he can essentially grab her by the booty or whatever, she go like, oh hi, thank you, right? It's all about how you look. Remember, women, especially modern women here in America, they have such atavistic mating standards, very primitive. In other words, oh, he must look good, right? And you would notice too that, when men share their standards, when men share their expectations, when men share their boundaries, what happens? It's met with sign language, shame, insult, guilt, and the need to be right. How can you get anywhere with someone like that? More specifically, how can you get anywhere with a woman who rejects correction? If you can't correct a woman, if she rejects it, what good is she? She's already useful to you in a whole bunch of other fronts, right? Now she's rejecting correction. What good is she? Because all what's left is just and a lot of this stuff too is, it's taboo for men. Now, women all day, they could share their standards and expectations. Again, hashtag manifestation madness, right? In their Build the Boo workshop head of theirs, they're creating this Frankenstein man, right? A little bit of this, a little bit of The Rock, a little bit of Chris Brown. Oh, he's a bad boy, a little bit of whoever the fuck, right? And they're building essentially Frankenstein, right? Because that's, women, it's just chaotic up there. That's just how it is. And that's what we have to go by. And it's crazy. It is unbelievably crazy. What's up? How's it going? But what ends up happening is they'll convince you that you're wrong. And oftentimes with a lot of Western women, unfortunately, like I said, you can't correct them. With a lot of them, their opinion means more to them than keeping and maintaining a man. because they know that someone will save them, someone will hit it, you know, which in a lot of realities, I mean, a lot of the things they're right about because they will. There's always a man who they friend zoned or something like that, or as I refer to as a beta male orbiter because he's orbiting her in hopes of one day having an opportunity, right? So he's a beta male orbiter. He's hoping to get an opportunity to smash. He's hoping to get an opportunity to have an audience with it. But what happens is, see, women are slick, right? They'll keep men that they know who like them, but they don't like, but they'll be sure to keep them in their friend zone, and they would be ready to extract resources from these men, essentially getting all of the benefits as if they were in a relationship, except for the intimacy, the sex and all of that other good stuff. Well, it hasn't been that long. I mean, just I would probably say the last 60, 70 years ago or so, it wasn't like this. Women were more raised to be wives. They were more family oriented. They were more for the nuclear family. They were more for prioritizing family. Now, you got a lot of spinsters and cat shepherds. That's what you got. Cat and dog shepherds, right? Living in their truth. It's my truth. Okay. You're willing to do all of that, right? I mean, and you probably even heard it yourself too, right? A lot of these women, it's like they even have lists of things that men have to do, including paying their bills. Their bills. You got to pay my bills. Why? They're your bills. Why? Because I pay my own bills. Congratulations, you're an adult. You have to pay your own bills. You don't have a choice. But if you're going to be my man, you got to pay my, And they're looking for suckers, people who's going to fall for that bullshit. And with a lot of them, it's like, wouldn't it make more sense to, because here's the thing. Most households have to be a two-income household, right? Most households have to be a two-income households because it's expensive out here. A lot of people can't live on a single income household. Most people cannot. That is a luxury. But a lot of women, per TV, social media, a lot of them think or feel like they deserve to live a very cushy comfort life, live off of one income. The reality is most people can't. And for the kind and caliber of men who could provide such a lifestyle, well, he wants something for who he is. And if you're not going to be an asset to this guy, what good are you? Legal 304s, absolutely. Absolutely. And that's usually what it is, They hide behind the premise of other bullshit, right? To be legal 304s, just like G said. Yo, what's up, Anzo the Collector? How's it going? What's up, Cameron? How's it going? But yeah, so, and this is the type of stuff, right, where men in Western culture, this is what we have to deal with. This is what we have to deal with in Western culture. And a lot of the men, they're just opting to go elsewhere. And, certain groups of women, like particularly black women, they're suffering the worst. It's like they didn't get the memo where it's like, hey, you probably shouldn't do that because, if anything, you're pushing men away. More specifically, you're pushing your own men away. Your non-black counterparts, i.e. white, Asian, Hispanic, Middle Eastern women, they're snatching up black men en masse. And remember what I said. Women outnumber men by millions in this country. Black women specifically outnumber black men by over 2 million in this country. There's not enough to go around, but all of them, they think, I'm going to find my person who's going to be for me. Thought police, I think is what they call it. They want you to conform to whatever ideas and ideals are in their head. But the realities are, even if you were, let's take it at that, right? Let's say if you, oh, is it? Oh, man. Are you at least able to hear me really well? Damn, that sucks. Is it really lag, bro? What platform are you on? My bad. Oh, it's Spider. What's up, Spider? Is it what platform are you on that, bro? Damn, that sucks, man. That's what I'm saying, man. I need some I need a new computer, man. I need to be wired or something. Damn. What's up, Gary Briggs? How's it going, man? Damn. Man. But, overall, though, what's up, Chris Stiv? What's up? Moms also make this mold, by the way, for their daughters. Absolutely. When a lot of these women, these young girls, these young women, they grow up in chaotic households. Who's raising them? They mamas, they aunties, they cousins, right? Mom drove the dad out of the house, opted for meager government assistance over having a damn man in the house. Your dad constantly telling the girl your daddy ain't shit. Now you have a young woman who's growing up, and now she's feeling very rebellious. Now she's grown up. She's grown up with daddy issues, feeling really rebellious. Let's see how well she turns out, right? And that's the thing, right? A lot of these women have damaged their households, even the ones that raised the young boys, the young men, right? Sissifying them, as what they say, turning them gay, a lot, having them wear makeup and play on stripper poles and all of this other stuff. It's like, why are you doing that? Why are you allowing for your boy to do that? Why doesn't he have proper guidance? Where's his father? Oh, his daddy ain't shit. But you had a baby by this ain't shit man. And that's what I don't understand. These women would have babies by these men and then think that they would qualify for a better man to come in, take care of them and a lesser man's child, or a man that they dubbed a lesser man. How the hell is that a net positive for any man coming into the mix? How is that a net positive for any man coming into the mix? Like, and on top of that, remember, women outnumber men by millions. Why would a man settle for that shit? Do they? Yeah, they do. Is it possible? Sure. But again, possibilities over probabilities. Let's see. Yep, I think if you couldn't seek out who he was or learn from prior, you deserve his bullshit. Well, again, a lot of times they're aware of what comes with dealing with a bad boy, dealing with a criminal, dealing with a Pookie, dealing with a Ray Ray. They know what comes with that, but do they care? No. Why? Because his dick good. I needed that scratch itch. He made me tingle, Because he made her tingle and he made her moist. That was enough for her to get her rocks off, right? But then it's his fault all over again. Can't make this shit up. You cannot. What's up, Tavern? How's it going, man? But yeah, you cannot make this shit up. But still, women don't seek the nearest man for their child. They seek the perfect one. Well, yes and no. You know, ideally in a perfect world, sure, but a lot of them also come to the realization that uh, they probably won't ever get a super good looking man that makes a lot. Take the woman that went viral, mega viral, the black lady with the dark skinned black lady that looked like George Wallace, the comedian. She no shit looks like George Wallace, the comedian. The old black guy, she looks like him. She went viral for her list of expectations in a man that was for like a Hollywood, that was her list was like probably for a Hollywood 9 or something like that, like a bad bitch, right? That's modeling and but she ran with that list like, no, this is what I'm going by. It's like, who the fuck is gonna sign up for that with your ugly ass? I mean, seriously. And I say that with the utmost respect. But no, absolutely not. I mean, damn, I wish I could pull up a picture of her. You'd be like, God damn, I see what you mean. Like, this chick is fugly. But women like her, they would magically manifest. I'm gonna find a man for me. He gonna be good looking. He gonna have money. He gonna get paid. He gonna do this. He gonna do that. We gonna have no. I mean, like this woman is so bad looking. If I had to pick between her and Precious, Precious 10 times over. Fucking Precious. Okay? And that's telling. Like, this chick, no shit, looks like George Wallace, the comedian. And she thinks that she gonna find a man. And the only thing she has to do now is what? To rant online. She comes online now and she posts these nasty, like, femcel, misandrous videos just basically proclaiming her hatred and contempt of men because no men want her and all this. Like, well, look at you. I mean, you can't be fugly and with a fucked up attitude. It's like, no, absolutely not. What's up, Steven? Welcome in. But you cannot be fugly and with a bad attitude. Remember my stats. We're going to go at it again. Women outnumber men by millions in this country. Men do the tough, dangerous, hard jobs. For it is men who maintain this vast and complex infrastructure. Not women, men. Again, there are not teams of female bricklayers, road pavers. There's no teams of females who are building bridges, skyscrapers, maintaining transit, all of that. It's overwhelmingly men. Even in university, what do women opt for? Degrees in humanities, worthless degrees. Rhetoric, HR, communications, art, psychology, stupid shit like that. Worthless degrees. Men, we overwhelmingly opt for degrees in STEM. Science, technology, engineering, mathematics. What's up, Victor? How's it going? Victor Infinity, how's it going, man? Welcome in. But, just a few years ago, for a man to even discuss this stuff, it was taboo. Most men wouldn't think to or dare to even have these conversations. No. But now I think so many men are fed up. Men are just coming out of the woodwork and they're just like, no, this is nonsense. This is crazy. Even researchers have even did studies on just how society thinks of men. If a man is in distraught, he has to just deal with it. He's a man, right? If a woman is abusing a man, people are seeing it. It's not, ma'am, no, don't hit him. It's, what did he do to upset her? That's the narrative. Women wailing on men, right, in the street, and the man won't hit her back. The narrative is always, well, he must have did something to upset her. But if you change that scenario, You had a man slapping the shit out of her. Hey! The world would come, just pounce in from everywhere. What's up, Ryan? Welcome in. So that's just what I say. It's very interesting. It's very fascinating what men have to deal with. Oh, but I'm tired. Do y'all want to talk about something else? Otherwise, I'm about to go to bed, y'all. I am looking forward to going to bed. Damn. Anything? Any questions, comments, any bitch moans, complaints, anything? Yeah, for sure. Hell yeah, bro. Absolutely. And good luck, bro. Good luck with that military stuff, bro. Remember, bro, MEPS is not your friend, bro, okay? I don't care what people say. Just try to be very, very careful when you're dealing with those folks. Yeah. But just do what you need to do, make sure you get everything in order. And yeah, I hope you could, like, the goal I would probably recommend is just doing your best to get to boot camp as soon as possible and just getting it out of the way. Every day you stall, it's going to be more painful. Like when I went, I got the soonest available slot, and it was done with in a blink of an eye. Make no mistake, it was tough and it was long, but I was able to get it done very fast. And so afterwards, every single other person that was waiting to go to boot camp, none of them still went. I had left, went to boot camp, went to MOS school, which is your main occupation specialty, like your specialty training. I I went to MOS school, came back, and everybody at that recruiting office, all of the people were still waiting to go to boot camp. I had already finished and did all that. I did many, many months of training. And they were like, wow, you really did all of that? Wow, how was it? Oh, man, you look so different now. Man, because, man, I was a big boy, man, when I went in, man. I was, like, huge, man. Like, when they first seen me, they were like,
damn. Damn, boy. Damn, boy, he's thick. Boy, that's a thick ass boy. Damn.
So, yeah, they were all, man, they were like, damn. I mean, Aiden Ross, obviously you care enough because you're here leaving bizarre messages. I'm just ignoring your messages because they're just weird, but I see what you're writing to me. It's just kind of bizarre. Yeah, I'm paying it. Just so you know, I'm paying attention to all of it right here. I see everything that you're writing to me right here. What's up? What's up? What's up? I'm just choosing to ignore you. But yeah, overall though, 30 seconds, and I think that would be a full hour for me online, and I think I'm good. For those of you that are here, if you kind of sort of enjoyed the content, give me a like, give me a follow. I appreciate y'all for joining in. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'll try to be back online. I'm gonna try to come back online tomorrow. We'll see. because I guess there's some other stuff that we could probably talk about and whatever. I'm not really sure yet, but we'll figure something out. One thing I do got to figure out too is I need to get a new computer. So if y'all could help me get to 500 followers, if y'all could help me get to 500 followers, hey, I could get a computer. Now I was looking at the Mac Studio. Like a fully loaded Mac Studio is like 8 to 12 grand. I'll buy it, but I need to see at least 500 followers on my account. Not on TikToker, but on Twitcher. Twitcher. I need 500 on the Twitcher. For reals. Once I get 500 on the Twitcher, eyes will be good. So for those of you, and I'll probably say like 800 on Kicker. So for those of you who are watching me on the Kicker, be sure to follow me. I appreciate y'all so much, and we'll talk. We'll have a lot of tough discussions like this again. You know what I'm saying? What's up, AD? Hey, thanks for the roses, my friend. Thank you. I was just about to leave, bro. Thank you. Thank you for the roses. I appreciate you so much, brother. Thank you so very much. Hopefully, I still get more of those. I can eventually afford a first edition Charizard, bro. I've been saving up for one. I need like $38,000. So if y'all keep sending me roses, I think we could get there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I need a first edition Charizard. I need it now. You know what I mean? But yeah. Hey, thank you for the additional roses, for the 12 roses. Thank you, my friend. Hell yeah, thanks for the roses. Thank you so much for the roses, my friend. Thank you, ADZ. I appreciate you, my guy. Thank you. Man, you were like my only set of gifts. Did you send a heart me as well? Make sure you power up with a heart me too. Send a heart me. And then click here to power up where my finger is. You want to click that to power up and upgrade your level. And then when you get to a higher level, it'll be like, and then you'll just go up even more, you know? Hell yeah for the heart me. There you go. Now make sure you power up. Make sure you click this and then power up. Put your heart meat. Hell yeah. If I put my finger here, is it pointing right to the heart and everything? Is it like right on it or what? I don't know. Should be. I don't know. It should be. But yeah. Yeah, for sure, bro. I appreciate you, man. Hell yeah. Tired, man. I'm tired, y'all. For reals.
Fuck this shit, I'm out. Fuck this shit, I'm out. No thanks.
All right, y'all. I'm about to get off. Thank you for joining. I'm going to try to get back on tomorrow. If you have any questions, send me an email at hello@blockchain.com.